To have you on today, Ashley, and talking about, intergenerational collaboration in the workplace. You know, you often, and I just had this recently coaching a group, and you have some millennials talking about the Gen Zers, and you have some boomers talking about the millennials, and that they just kind of throw out assumptions about other populations, about how they are. And I just want to hear from your perspective, what are you hearing in terms of what's going on out there in terms of intergenerational collaboration?
Yeah, I think, employers are realizing that it is becoming more of a problem. I mean, it's not even like it's intentionally becoming, where there's like this clash per se, but I think there's just so many different ideologies and ways of going about life. And as a result, the millennials then clash with the boomers, or the boomers clash with the Gen Zers, et cetera, et cetera. And I think now that employers are much more aware of it, they're trying to be more tactful in how they're solving it. I mean, there's still a lot more that needs to be done, and a lot of employers that need to do more things. But I think the thing is the awareness is there. And I think beforehand, like in a few years ago, it was kind of like this laughable thing, or kind of like people are like, yeah, we'll deal with that later, And now as the workforce is increasing with more younger people, and especially now with COVID, as some people are even retiring or leaving work and there's more younger people in the workforce, they're realizing that they really need to adapt quickly or figure out ways of developing like mentorship programs or leadership programs or different things that can intertwine the generations, where they can learn from each other and also further the collaboration, so that there's momentum and a push forward instead of this kind of like stagnation going on.
Mm-hmm. And so you mentioned a couple of program like mentoring that they're doing. What else are companies doing to help kind of smooth out and to increase productivity performance with this intergenerational dynamics? What types of things are you seeing?
Yeah, I think there's more listening conversations going on. There's much more of a like kind of like almost in a sense like focus groups, or like the employers really taking more time to ask their employees who are of younger generations, or even I guess older generations as well. In that sense, I want to say wiser generations, what their thoughts are on in terms of their relationship building, or things that they would want to see change within the workplace. Like, for example, even now, even though some people have returned back to work, some people are working remotely, and it was kind of like taboo, in the sense to work remote from home beforehand, like employers would never before COVID. And now, as things are shifting, there are many companies who are like, you know what, you can work from home if you want to. Like some of the social media companies are doing that. And I think there's more of this, what can we do to keep you, in a sense of what can we do to make this a workplace where you want to be a part of, where it's an environment that you want to be a part of. So I think beforehand, the employers were like, this is the way it is, this is how it is, whatever. Now they're realizing that to get the best talent and to keep talent, they need to figure out ways of listening to them and getting feedback from them. And a part of that is either through those focus groups, or even also mentorship programs or things around that nature, where they're engaging more with the younger generations.
Mm-hmm. Well, and along those lines, that's something I've been actively working on, is supporting organizations to develop their managers to know how to coach their staff, right?
Oh, so good. I
Because
love
the
that.
cornerstone of coaching is listening.
Right.
And so when you, instead of being, manager in control, boss person, it's about how do I coach the people who report to me such that they feel valued, engaged, we can get increased performance and productivity. And it does.
I mean, because sometimes I think it's like lip service, right? People say we want to listen, but then when you get the comment or the feedback, you really like don't want to listen. So it's either, over time, people are like, don't waste my time. And they're just kind of like, the employer is giving lip service all the time, but not actually following through with what they say their values are or what they're standing for. So that's how you lose people as well.
There you go. And that's the lack of listening. Yeah, we're talking, people are moving lips, And we don't see it in terms of the values and the behaviors. So when you think about like the work contract today, in particular with millennials and what they want from work, how has that shifted? What is it that they want in the workplace, just in general?
Yeah, I think the thing is, our generation really wants more autonomy, and they realize that there is a way of living life that is fulfilling, authentic to who they are, the impact they want to have in the world, the legacy that they want to have. And so for them, it's not just coming to work just to get a paycheck. You know, they really want to go and be a part of organizations that are creating change, or that they feel like they can really contribute towards and making that change. And at the same time, they're still having this work-life balance where they're able to have a family, they're able to make enough money to have a family or to go on vacation to save for retirement. They're also able to pay for student loans, which is a huge thing right now, especially, and even of people. I was just reading a recent article about older millennials questioning even if it was, you know, good for them to even get a degree, because of all the things related to the Great Recession and how they're trying to pay back their student loans and getting over that. So I think in companies that are helping students or helping their employees with paying back their student loans, especially too, is really important, or like tuition reimbursement. So I think it's a combination of having a fulfilling life where it's no longer just about going to work just to work. Our generation's like, you know, as much as possible, I'm not going to do that. And if that means I have to go into 5 different jobs within 5 years in order to find the right company that works for me, I am willing to do that, because to them, life is so much more than just working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think really the pandemic, if we're to find any silver lining in any of this, because our hands were forced into this new way of work, that I think some are actually finding to be in alignment. Like, I want to work from home so I can eliminate the drive time or the commute time, and I can actually probably do more on the hours that I'm working.